Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we're bringing you a Kickstarter preview of Forgeflame, coming from Lord Raccoon Games. Now, I believe the thumbnail of this video says something along the lines of, "We love this publisher." And that is absolutely true. Lord Raccoon Games is, well, what board game communities kind of are. They're two indie brothers working to make some cool things exist in the world and in the hobby space. This is their third Kickstarter campaign they're running, with the first being The Last Bottle of Rum and the second being Taverns and Dragons, both of which have arrived to backers. And Forgeflame is similar to those last two titles in the fact that there's a lot of heart, soul, passion, and fun built into not only the artwork, but the gameplay mechanics and the mechanisms here on the table. It's interactive, it plays very well at higher player counts, and for me is skewed towards a more family-friendly, lighter gamer audience, while still having some deep decisions for people who like strategically beating others around the table. Yes, I am absolutely talking about my wife, Shira. She is ruthless and beats me not only at these fun games, but also the more complex ones like Terraforming Mars and Agricola and Kingdom Death. You can't really beat someone at Kingdom Death, but she does it anyway by being the only person that survives. Okay, Lord Raccoon Games. Why did the thumbnail say we love this publisher? Well, this, like the last videos we've done on their other two projects, is a non-sponsored video. It's our opportunity to dive in and support some indie creators in our space doing something cool and trying to make their dreams come true, trying to publish and create and bring board games to life. They've done so successfully, like I said, multiple times, and the style and the flavor of game that they produce is something that I think a lot of people can enjoy and get behind. So, I wanted you to click on this video because I want you to support this publisher, because I want you to have a good game. So stick around for the preview, get a sense of what this game is. I'm going to give you an overview, a breakdown, help you see if it's going to be the right game for you and your gaming group, and then if it is, follow the link in the top of the video description to go back, even if it's just for $1, hang out in the comments and tell them that a duck, a very friendly, very ambitious, very sleepy duck sent you their way. Forgeflame. In a far-off region, a gigantic landslide has revealed long-forgotten underground tunnels, hiding priceless treasures, rich veins of gold, dark iron, and Draconite. Rumors abound that deep within these lost mines resides the almost eternal forge, a dwarven masterpiece capable of crafting legendary artifacts. Gather your team of adventurers and embark on a thrilling race into the depths of Forgeflame. Forgeflame, at the heart of it, is going to be a little bit of a race-to-win style game, with victory points being the end condition, but the trigger for those victory points primarily coming from the different items you're going to be able to craft or forge at the heart of the furnace or up here on the surface. You're going to be diving down with your various different explorers, all with their own unique asymmetric abilities, their own ability to move, grab, teleport, shift, push out of the way, or suckle in as many gems as possible. And you're going to be revealing this mineshaft, journeying from levels 1 to levels 2 to levels 3, which you see represented in the color and the skew of the artwork on the table here. Each of these tokens and tiles you'll have to reveal, coming up with a variety of different potential consequences. You could have totems that give you special powers if you're in that location, but give your allies help as well. You could create cave-ins that block off certain parts of the map, or do them so that other people can't follow you into the depths of the cavern. You could have little goblin troll things that pop out that you have to fight, but they're also going to be siphoning up and stealing all your gems, so you kind of want to punch them in the face because you want to grab as many gems out of this bag as you can, or you're going to have some very nice, very straight-up gems pop onto the game board that you then can pick up, place physically onto your miniature. You see this golem here? He's literally holding 3 gems in his hand, or this adorable little chest here, the goop, is swallowing gems in his mouth. I like that mechanic. There's a limit to how many each character can carry, and you're then going to be harvesting those gems, stealing them from other players, and moving towards the center forge, where there is enough fire burning for, right now, 2 more potential items to be crafted. After one player has 4 total items crafted, you're going to be triggering endgame. Endgame then is going to be a combination of the points that you've earned, from ripping pieces off the board, from crafting the most valuable treasures possible, and potentially grabbing some hidden treasure chests or rewards for taking out some of the minions. If all 3 of these flame tokens have been flipped to the ember side, you can't craft in that location anymore. You and your team might have to make it the whole way back up to the surface in order to craft that last precious good. There's a lot of interaction here. There's some grabbing and squabbling. There's definitely some shuffling and pushing other people out of the way. And the take that is not aggressive or cruel, but kind of always there. It's like a pinball machine. You're going to bump into each other as you play the game, no matter what. The question is, how purposeful do those bumps become? Are you targeting someone who's about to win, closing off that last location where they could forge that final item, or grabbing the rubies, forcing them to have to go fight some goblins across the game board to hopefully find what they need from the greedy little green bag of villainy that pops up on the game board? Or are you going to focus on upgrading your character, getting more cards into your hand, and taking bigger and more bold actions as the game progresses? Your squad is going to be composed of, in a 4-player game, 2 core characters. In a lower player count game, 3 core characters. And each of these have a limit to the amount of gems they can carry. And, of course, you'll have to have them all in the same location if you want to craft some of these higher value cards, because they're going to take more gems than your people can carry with them in a single adventure. Just for reference here, I want to take a little red gem and stick it right into that robot mech's hand. It's lovely. I really like the miniatures. If you didn't know that, I do. This is also the first game where they have miniatures, and I think they've done a really nice job. Alright, that's besides the point. Your core player abilities are going to be dictated on a set of cards that you have. You're going to have some basic starting abilities, and then you're going to have upgraded special powers and abilities based off of every single character you have mixed in. So depending on what factions you've combined together, you're going to have different ways to manipulate and move around the board, and potentially have those cards chain or work off of each other. Like, for instance, my mole can sniff out where the best gems are, but can't get there so fast. But my goblin is able to basically hop on a trolley cart and zoom the whole way down there to pick up that most precious resource, but his maximum carry load is only 2, so if a golem comes stumbling up behind him and scoops up 3 of those gems, he might watch pitifully as he loses some of the resources he was looking for. There's a lot of interplay here. Okay, our cards that we have. You're going to have a marketplace where you're going to be building your deck. The first round of the game will start with your basic card actions. Icons in the top corner will indicate that you can move, do any action, you can fight, you could grab, you could continue moving, you could reveal a tile location, meaning mining, and you could do those actions repeatedly. You could also always spend any one symbol to forge here in the center. But as the game continues, you're going to have a face-down stack of cards here in the center, showing you what you're going to be able to draft the next turn, and 2 face-up, potentially more powerful cards available for you. This one is not. That's a basic card, so we're going to flip over here. Like, for instance, here's a basic card too. I want one with a symbol in the top corner. There we are. So we have 2 advanced cards down here on my board. So at the end of the first round, after I've played all my basic cards and I've taken my turn, I then get to draft one of these cards up into my hand and then draw back up all my basic cards and any advanced cards I've gotten previously to this. You'll have a total of, I think it's 4 cards in your hand when the round moves from one stage to another, and you'll be playing through those cards as the game moves on. It actually might be 5, and you take a total of 4 actions, which is why that number would be in my head. The abilities that you get are really powerful. Like, for instance, Sticky Hug, immobilization on an adventurer on your site. I can tell someone they just can't leave with the gems that they've stolen from me. Oh, you want those rubies? Well, you're not going to be able to go to the forge this turn. And then, of course, my little goblin here, take a card from your draw pile into your hand, heal an adventurer on your site. So you could remove some negative attributes, and you could draw back up cards, which might allow you to chain other cards that pair well with him, making him move and sprint across the board faster and more aggressively than anyone expects. That's the heart of the game. You're going to be doing this ebb and flow of moving down into the cavern here, of revealing gems, resources, potential enemies, and squabbling to pick up as many as you can. While you do that movement through this main board here, you're going to be upgrading and playing your own little mini game of what card do I want to take? What character do I want to become slightly stronger than the others? Who do I need to be able to maneuver around the board more effectively? Or who needs to be able to interact with other players to keep them from winning the game? You'll always have 2 revealed advanced cards to choose from, and then you'll always put out another one. So I know if I take the goblin here, I'm going to have another goblin card to choose from following up on that. These cards, of course, will be shuffled, so it won't always be goblin, 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 goblin. It'll be a whole series of randomized cards. That's the core flow of the game. Like I said, it triggers endgame when you complete 3 or 4. In the game I played, it was 4 of these artifact abilities, and then at the end of every round you're also going to have an event card come out which could change the landscape a little bit, creating cave-ins, revealing more gems, or spawning more things, creatures, minions that you have to beat up and annihilate. The characters are entertaining and lovely. I'll read a little bit of flavor text from them in just a second because I find them quite adorable. The artwork's wonderful, the miniatures are beautiful, and the vibrancy of Lord Raccoon games is something that always draws me back to them every single time I see them. In terms of the highs and lows, my experience of the gameplay environment, I think this probably right now is catered towards playing at 3 or 4 players primarily. I did a 2-player game head-to-head of this, and I found that we weren't bumping into each other quite as much as I wanted to have on the game board. On top of that, these games usually are fairly mid-weight. They should be accessible and easy to play while giving you some interesting decisions, but you're not going to find a hardcore, overly strategic puzzle to solve. Instead, this is supposed to be a laugh-out-loud riot of a game where you sit down with friends, family, and people who are both advanced in board gaming and new to board gaming, and you play. You experience the game. You do what games are meant to be done with, gaming them. I don't know what that sentence was, but I'm going to keep it in the video because I'm stubborn and celebrating the fact that I don't have a expander in my mouth anymore, which means I can talk a little bit faster and a little bit more fluently. Not much, but slightly. Either way, why will you like this game? Why won't you like this game? You'll like this game if you're looking for a fun, moderately interactive game that gives you some interesting card play and a lot of different ways to explore the same game system. A family that's going to get the same game to game night every couple of weeks would really enjoy diving back into this one, and they'll have stories to tell and new characters to play with as they continue to do so. You might not enjoy this one if you're looking for something a little bit more advanced or a little bit more strategic, if you don't like player interaction when it comes to your gameplay experience, or you don't like race-to-win mechanics, if you think you'd rather score at the end of 12 rounds and really prepare your engine. There certainly can be times where someone finishes the game before you're ready to have it be over, and you could have some points get stolen from you or cut off your opportunity to score enough to win because other players are paying attention to what's happening on the game board. I don't know that this is a game about winning, though. Like I've experienced with The Last Bottle of Rum and Taverns and Dragons, it's nice to win, but it's more fun to play. And I want to see Lord Raccoon Games continue making products like this. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, this is not a sponsored endorsement. Instead, this is a video advocating for publishers like the brothers at Lord Raccoon Games to continue being able to use platforms like Kickstarter to create products like this and their other 2 previous games. They're responsible producers, responsible creators, and they've made some things that I know myself and some of you out there have really enjoyed. So, if you want to get a copy of this, follow that link down below, swing over and give them your support, and let them know, like I said at the beginning, what character you want to play with the most. I mean, I need to read some flavor text, but you have to admit, the little mole guy, the Snuffleupagus, the little guy that can sniff out all the gems in the terrain, he's adorable. He's quite lovely. Okay, I'm going to read Molly, the Cavern Crawler. After a cave-in in a gallery, this young, deep mole found herself isolated from the rest of her clan. Trusting her instinct, she has been digging tirelessly ever since, hoping to one day reunite with her kin. An expert in tunnel construction, Molly can easily move through the mine and spot the coveted ore with her keen sense of smell. She just can't carry it all. And then who's the next one we want to read? Because I like stories. I think the slime. I think Glibberglob. the Absorber, a magical creation used during the golden age of Forgeflame. Glibberglop is a mind cleaner. Everything except ore dissolves inside this gelatinous cube. Wandering alone in the depths for a long time, Glibberglop is delighted to return to service following an unexpected reopening of the mine. Thanks to its gelatinous nature, it excels at hindering other adventurers. Special note: contrary to what one might expect from a gelatinous cube, Glibberglop is very mobile and efficient at transporting ores on the game board. With its elasticity ability, it can ignore landslides, while its absorption, sticky hug, and glue pot cards are formidable for hindering other adventurers. There's also a little line somewhere in here that makes fun of the fact that this isn't D&D. You're not going to absorb and dissolve your enemies. Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. That's been a Kickstarter preview of Forgeflame coming from Lord Raccoon Games. Whatever the case, though, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Support the creators that you want to see continue making good products. We'll see you next time. Bye.